I'm sure that a lot of people would, even if they fully understood that the chances of success are tiny, would like to become involved in a trial.
Yeah, the aim is to get about 30% of cancer patients into research projects at any given time. In leukemia, it's 100%. In some cancers where the treatments are very well defined, it's less than 5%. But on average, the batting average of a country that's contributing well in the cancer research field is 30%.
Okay, so shortage of subjects for trials isn't really a problem there then?
Well, it can be. I mean, if you're working on a rare cancer, I mean, supposing that, supposing you've got the latest and greatest thing for ovarian cancer, in your opinion, it's a particularly nasty cancer, ovarian cancer, and basically if it recurs, there are no defined treatments at the moment, so the field's wide open. You know, you can't say, look, I've got to do this as well as or in competition with an existing well-defined treatment, because there really aren't any. So that you can basically have the whole field in ovarian cancer, but even the whole field in Australia is only 800 patients a year, and to show a survival advantage, you might need twice that number, and you'll probably need to study them for 5 years. So that to actually prove that what you're doing works will take a lot of patients and a lot of time, especially since you'll want your clinical trials to be done in a way which gives you a clear answer at the other end. So you'll obviously not take into the trial patients who are likely to die within the next couple of months because salvage treatment just isn't going to work for them. You're going to get no benefit at all. Conversely, you're not going to take into the trial patients who have other life-threatening diseases, which are likely to mean that their other life-threatening diseases will stop them reaching an endpoint relating to ovarian cancer in the trial. And you'll knock off the patients who are about to travel overseas, and the patient, and by the time you take your pool of 800 patients, maybe only 300 of them will be eligible from a practical point of view. And then out of that lot, 20% will probably say, no, I don't actually want to take part in a research project. Most people, when offered, will, but not all. It depends on how you portray the risk. I mean, if you've got ovarian cancer and you've nothing to lose, then almost any risk is acceptable. If you've got melanoma, where 60% of people will be totally cured by the primary excision, and you say, look, you've got a 60% chance you're totally cured, but I want to give you a pretty toxic drug which might push that up to 70 or 80%, people think very carefully about that sort of decision, and that's one of the responsibilities of the clinicians involved in studies, is to make sure that you explain the risks pretty carefully to the individual involved and the benefits, so they know where they stand. But if you were working in a cancer like breast cancer, and you wanted to do research, yeah, lots of patients with breast cancer, but there are very good and well clearly defined treatments now which are of distinct benefit. So you can't say, well, look, I'd like to give you something new instead of a well-defined treatment. You can only say, look, I'd like to give you it as well as the well-defined treatment. And then if the well-defined treatment cures 85% of the patients, which it does, the sum total of management of breast cancer at the moment is really very effective, then obviously adding in a new treatment, to put that 85% up to 90%, which is what you'd like to do, you need a very large number of patients to prove that you've got that benefit.
Oh, yes.
Since 80% are going to get a bit better anyway, and also you need to follow up breast cancer patients for a minimum of 10 years before you can say that you've actually achieved something, because breast cancer has this tendency to recur very late in the course of the disease, so that you're looking for survival advantage out, 5–10 years out, and so that those studies take a long time to do. And that's one of the reasons why encouraging scientists to take the product all the way through to the clinic, if you like, is quite hard, because they can't wait 10 years. Their career's got to move on, and no one will give them any money while they wait for the results of a 10-year study.